Chris, Kate, very good to see you both. We have such an important topic today. The small business tax credit that you may have dismissed and really shouldn't have. I know that you both are such great advocates and resources for small business owners. And you recently told me about a program called the Employee Retention Credit aimed at helping small business owners who were affected during the pandemic. So, Kate, let's just start at the top. What is the ERC program?
Hi, Erin. Yeah. So the ERC program is the Employee Retention Credit, and that was created by the federal government as part of coronavirus relief,
Mhm.
in addition to the PPP loan as well.
hmm And I know you mentioned that you're hearing ads about this on the radio all the time. So one of the
Sure.
reasons we wanted to do this is because a lot of people have kind of dismissed it. So we're going to break down a lot of misconceptions. But let's just start at why this is so important. How much can people qualify for? Let's just say I have 10 employees.
Sure. So small employers can qualify for up to $26,000 per employee.
Wow.
So the way that it breaks down is $5,000 for the entirety of 2020 for each employee. And
Mhm.
in 2021, the credit works, it was expanded. So it's $7,000 per employee in 2021 for the first 3 quarters, and then the credit ends.
And is there a cap on that?
It's up to 500 employees.
Oh, wow. Wow, that really is significant. All right. So, Chris, you are a small business owner yourself, which is one reason why you're such a great resource. A lot of small business owners are familiar with the Paycheck Protection Program. We've all heard about PPP. What's the difference between the two, and can I qualify for both?
So, Aaron, thanks again for having us. And yes, that's one of the biggest objections that we hear is the quite often a business owner will say, "Well, I've already received PPP, and my accountant said that I'm not allowed or entitled to the ERC." And what we kindly suggest back to that small business owner is to have their accountant, their CPA, go back out and reread the amendments that were created, because Congress, in an effort to help keep small business employees retained, created this ERC or expanded it and updated it. So the answer is yes, you can receive both. The only sort of ad hoc that you have to make sure, you cannot take a PPP loan forgiveness and simultaneously take that employee as a credit as well. You can't use or
Okay.
double dip the same dollar.
Okay. All right. So, Chris, then let's break down some of those qualifications because, as you mentioned, I'm sure there's, maybe some people don't realize that there's a lot of advanced math that goes into this and things have changed. So let's start through those qualifications. You have to meet one of three criteria. The first one being revenue reduction.
So you hit the nail on the head when you said one of three, right? It doesn't have to be all three, but it just has to be one of three. And the first one that typically has turned most CPAs or accountants clients away from the opportunity is that they say, "Oh, well, you did not have a 20% revenue reduction for the quarters in question." And what we often will say is, listen, that's just one of the three qualifications. But what we found is that a lot of restaurants absolutely had those
Right.
reductions because of the government restrictions put in place because of COVID.
Right, absolutely. So probably number one affecting a lot of restaurant owners. Now, number two here, supply chain disruption. Boy, I can't tell you one person who didn't have something that wasn't affected by the supply chain disruption.
And it's, there's even a little bit deeper layer, too much for us to get into today, but a lot of
Mhm.
people do qualify. So a lot of people in the car industry couldn't get components or parts. But one of the things you have to be aware of is as long as there was not a separate replacement alternative available. So the IRS is very clear with that, but a lot of times, you just couldn't get material or goods to be able to perform business. So we think it's an area that should be visited by business owners.
Absolutely. And last on the list of qualifications, partial or full suspension of company operations.
Yeah. So again, this is heavily weighted into the restaurant arena or any environment where the government has come in and prohibited large scale. Maybe you did public venues, maybe you did events at hotels or restaurants. Anything like that where you were restricted or prohibited from would make that a true qualification.
Okay. And Kate, I'd like to talk about how long the process takes.
Sure. So officially, the IRS says that it takes about 6 to 7 months. But my clients have been seeing their credits in about 3 months now. And the reason for that is
Wow.
the IRS has hired a whole bunch of workers to process these because if once you file um, and they haven't processed it, your money is earning interest. So it's in their
Hmm.
best interest to pay you quickly.
Absolutely. All right. And Chris, does the money have to be used in a specific way?
Absolutely not. A lot of people, the question we've gotten quite often is there, how can I get this much money back? I didn't even pay that much in taxes. And that's, but the answer is this is not a refund of income taxes. This is
Hmm.
a refund of payroll taxes. They are a different animal, a different entity. So once you get it, it is in the form of a hard check. This is, I have one of my plumbers say to me, he said, this is like applying for free money. Well, it's not free, but you do have to qualify.
Right. But that's probably why a lot of us are suspicious, right? But let's now talk about deadlines because they are very important. And the first deadline, it's coming up in a bit, December 31st.
Yeah, so December 31st ends the tax year 2020, and it was 3 years, and it's really that last quarter of 2020 that people are referring to. So that's December 31st of 2023. That quarter is then done. So you have about 12 months, but then it's a rolling 3 months. So the first quarter starts to open up 2021, and it's the first 3 quarters, not all 4 quarters for 2021, with that first quarter last day being March 31st, 2024.
Hmm. Okay, so again, we just want to remind everybody that we are doing a very high level discussion about this program because we think that a lot of people may have dismissed it or thought they didn't qualify or been told they didn't qualify when they may qualify. So I know that you are always available on your website and by phone, but you're also offering some live events coming up. How do people find out
Absolutely.
more about that?
Absolutely. And Caitlin, and between the both of us, we host calls regularly throughout the year. So we'll be doing some updates where we can do a deeper dive. Come, let us answer all your questions. But this is, an opportunity. The clock is ticking, and we're going to encourage you to make sure that you reach out to us. And if you show our contact information, right, you can call our office, email us. Either way, we'll get back to you. We're quick to respond. We want to help to make sure that you do it quickly, correctly, and on time.
And Kate, just remind everybody one more time the website, please.
Sure, it's www.professionalplanningservices.com.
All right. Hey, thank you both for being such great, again, advocates and resources for small business owners. I know that it's really important to both of you. I appreciate being able to ask you these questions. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Erin.
Bye, Erin.